In order to understand the inheritance, we must know how to construct a schematic diagram. So there are actually three ways of writing the genotype. I have written here the three situations. We have the first situation. And the first situation is this: the genes. Okay, the genes, and of course the alleles are found on the autosomes. Autosomes are chromosomes that are not involved in the sex determination. And there are only two types of alleles. One is dominant over the other. So normally we will use an alphabet to represent the dominant allele and the recessive allele. The dominant allele is always represented by a capital letter, and the recessive one, since it is on this allele is of the same gene, so I'm going to use the same letter. Okay, but make sure that is small because the small letter represents the recessive allele. The second situation is whereby the genes are also found on the autosomes, but there are three alleles here. So since there are three, I can't use the same letter here, so that's why I need to use I. Now is I superscript A, I, B, I, O. And for your information, IA and IB are codominant. That means to say that they are equally dominant. IO can only express its phenotype when there is no IA or IB. So it gives rise to a few combination here. So you can get IA and IA, both are dominant. You can also get IA and IO, which is heterozygous. You can get IB, IB, homozygous dominant, or IB, IO, heterozygous. Since IA and IB are codominant, so they can also exist in this pair, or homozygous recessive. So these are the possible genotype with these three combination of three types of alleles. And the phenotype, if you look at the phenotype, since IA is dominant over IO, so only the phenotype of IA will be expressed, and in this type, in this case, it will be so this man will have the blood type A. IB, since IB is also dominant over IO is a recessive allele, so this man, regardless of whether it is IB or IBIO, he will have the blood type B. IA and IB are codominant. That's why this man has this blood type AB. IO and IO should give you the phenotype of blood type O. Alright, so this is the second situation where the genes are found on the autosomes, but there are three alleles. Two of them are codominant and one of them is recessive. The third situation is whereby the genes are found on the sex chromosome. And remember, only the X chromosome carries genes. The Y chromosome is considered too short to carry any genes on it. And the disease, the disease caused by the mutated genes on the sex chromosomes are only three. These three we got to remember. The first one is hemophilia. Hemophilia is the inability of the blood to clot. Color blindness is the inability to differentiate color, especially the red and the green color. Muscular dystrophy is also a type of sex-linked disease whereby the muscle, the body is unable to synthesize the protein needed to construct muscles. As a result, the muscle degenerate. Now I'm going to start with the situation B first. Okay, so what if the father is A. Let's say it's A. This is a parent generation, and I have the phenotype here is A. and is married to a girl with, let's say, blood type B. And what is the genotype of the father? We do not know, because it can be IA or IEIO. The mother as well, it can be IB or IBIO. So I leave it aside first. Now let's see. Since we do not know the genotype, so that we also can't predict what are the gametes. However, we can predict it from the first filial generation. If, let's say, if you can find blood type A, blood type B, AB and O in F1 generation, so what would be the combination? What would be the genotypes of both parents? Now let's see. Okay, so in this case, since blood type O can only have this genotype, which is IO and IO. And we know that this F1 generation must get this IO from the father and this IO from the mother. So I predict that the father must have this allele, same as the mother. And then for the father to have the blood type A, he must have the allele IA. For mother to have the blood type B, she must also have the allele B. Now let's see what are the gametes formed by the father. The father is able to give rise to two types of gamete, which is IA and IB as stated in the Mendel's first law. So remember, during the formation of gamete, the pair of allele that controls the characteristic must separate during meiosis. Mother likewise is able to produce two types of gamete. During random fertilization, IA might fertilize with IB to give you IA and IB. IA can also fuse with IO to give rise to IA and IO. IO can also combine with IB to give you IBIO. Please write the dominant allele before recessive allele. IO can also fuse with IO to give rise to IO and IO. Now let's see the phenotype in the F1 generation. IA and IB will give you blood type AB, IAIO, blood type A, IBIO, blood type B, and IOIO, blood type O. So don't be sad. If your father has blood type A, your mother has blood type B, and you are O, you are perfectly okay. You are still their biological son and daughter. Don't cry. Okay, now let's see. How do we mark your essay on inheritance? So first of all, we will mark the phenotype of the parents, the genotype of the parents, the process of meiosis. Then gametes, normally we put a circle to show that these are gametes. Random fertilization carries 1 mark. F1 phenotype 1 mark, F1 genotype also 1 mark. And remember to have all this label. This label will give you another mark. And normally in examination, you will be asked to state the ratio or the possibility of the child having a certain phenotype. So in this case, if I were to write down the phenotypic ratio of the offspring, it will be 1:1:1:1. So the conclusion on the phenotypic ratio here, or the chance or the percentage, will give you another mark. Okay, so this part is actually quite easy to score. So make sure that you master it. Okay, we stop here. Thank you.